Okay, this is our Unit 2 review. I'm going to go through page 59 right now and work through these problems so you can check your work or refer back to this if you need any help. So these first problems, number 1 and number 2, ask you to use the associative property. When we talked about this in class, I talked about how you can associate with different groups of friends, or you can group yourself differently with different groups, like your basketball team, your dance class, your friend from school, your neighborhood friends. So what I'm looking for is to figure out which two of these numbers I can group together very easily and add them together without really having to do a lot of extra work. I see that this is a 7/10 and this is a 3/10. 3 plus 7 I already know is 10. So I'm going to group these two together. And I'm going to do 1 and 7/10 plus 5 and 3/10, lining up my decimal points, making sure they're lined up. 7 plus 3 is 0. It's a 10, so I have to carry the 1, 5, 6, and 7. And I end up with 7. 7 decimal 0 is the same as 7. So now I'm doing 7 plus 2 and 57/100ths, which is something I can do in my head. 7 plus 2 is 9. Decimal, this has nothing extra, and so it's 57/100ths. If you need to write that out, you can always change the 7 to 7.00 to 0.57, and then add those up. 0 plus 7 is 0, 5 plus 0 is 5, decimal point, 7 plus 2 is 9. The whole purpose of using the associative property is to help us add things a little easier and do some mental math so we don't have to write every single thing out. So this is how I would group those. The second problem is using the associative property to add again. This is already grouped, these two numbers, but just looking at them, 75/100ths plus 89/100ths, that's a lot of work. And I can see we got a 9 and a 5. I'm gonna have to carry. I'm gonna have to do some serious addition. But I do notice that this is 0.25 and this is 0.75. And I know a lot about quarters and I know a lot about money. And I know if I have 25 cents plus 75 cents, I get $1. So I'm going to group these two together in order to more easily solve this problem. So I know that 75/100ths plus 25/100ths is going to be 1 whole. 7 plus 3 is 10, plus that extra 1, so that's the same as 11. So I'm going to do it over here just so you can see how that math worked out. But this is something you could be able to solve in your head. 5 plus 5 is 10. Carry the 1. I'll line up my decimals first. 7 plus 2 is 9, plus 1 is 10. Carry the 1. 7 plus 3 is 10, plus 1 is 11. And then to that 11, I'm just going to add the extra. Since 11 has no decimal parts, I'm doing 11 plus 4, which is 15, and the 89/100ths. And that's how I end up with that answer, by grouping them a different way. We're going to go ahead and move down to number 3. It says, select the number in which the digit in the 8 is 10 times the value of the digit 8 in this number right here. So in this number right here, I can see that the 8, 4.381, this 8 is in the 100th place. So the value of this 8 is 8/100ths. If I want something 10 times bigger, that means I'm looking for something in the 10th place. Because I know when I move to the left, my digits or the value is getting bigger. So what I need to find is an 8 in the 10th place. That would show me that it's bigger. Well, this 8 is definitely bigger, but it's 10, 100, 1,000 times bigger. So that's not going to work. This 8 is in the thousandths place, which is over here. So that's actually smaller, which does not work. This one has an 8 in the 10th place because, like I said, this is in the 100th place. 10 times bigger means I need an 8 in the 10th place. Again, this 8 is in the thousands place, so that's smaller. This 8 is in the hundredths place, that matches, so that's not that's not right. And then this last one, I have an 8 in the tenths place, so that moved it from the hundredths to the tenths, which made it 10 times bigger. So for this one, I had 2 correct answers, letter C and letter F. The hundredths place is here. The tenths place is 10 times bigger. The thousands place would be 10 times smaller because it's to the right. All right, let's go on to number 4. It says use the numbers and a decimal to write the number in which the digit 2 is 1/10 the value of the 2 in this number. So like we just talked about, this 2 right here is in the hundredths place. In order for it to be 1/10 as big, or cutting it into 10 pieces, it needs to be over here. So that this would be 1/10 as big. Or we could also think about that as dividing it by 10 like we saw on our place value charts. So in this one, we're going to go ahead and look for a 2, or we want our 2 to be in the thousands place because that would be smaller. So I know I need to have 1, 2, 3 places. I know I need a decimal point, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers. So I'm going to have to put 1 here, I guess. It says use the numbers and a decimal to write a number in which the digit 2 is 1/10. So I know I need the 2 here, and then the rest I can put wherever I want. So I'm going to put 5, 8, 4. So the 2 is 1/10 the value because it's 1 place to the right, which is 1/10 as small, or we divided this 2 by 10 and got it in the thousands place. Okay, next one is number 5. Number 5 says write 247 and 903 thousandths in expanded form. So in expanded form, I'm just going to go ahead and write it in its value. So the 2 is in the hundredths place. So I have 200, and I put my plus sign. 4 is in the tens place, so the value of the 4 is 40. Plus, the 7 is in the ones, so that's 7. Plus, the 9 is in the tenths place, so I write it as 9/10. Plus, the 0, well, I don't need to worry about that because there's nothing there. And then the 3 is in the thousandths place. So I write it as 3 thousandths. You can see that the 3 is still in the same place. The 9 is still 1 place after the decimal. The 7 is right in front of the decimal. The 4 is 2 places in front of the decimal. The 2 is 3 places in front of the decimal. Their location in the number is not changing. What we're doing is just breaking them out into their value. So this 2 means 200, 4 means 40, the 7 is 7 ones. So we're taking the value of each digit. That is expanded form. The last one, number 6, wants us to write something in standard form, which means just number form. This is write the number. So it says 17,000 and means a decimal, 106 thousandths. I'm going to start with this because this is the most important part. This tells me that I need to have a decimal 1, 2, 3 places because it is thousandths. I need to have my number end in the thousandths place. 17,000. Well, so that's going to be 17, comma, 1, 2, 3 zeros for 17,000. And then I need to go ahead and fill in the back. It's 106, which as digits, it looks like this, 106. And I'm going to just place those here because I need to get the 6 in the last place. So 6, 0, 1. So this is 17,000 and 106 thousandths. I know that this is in the thousands place. It is 3 places after the decimal, so I know that it is in the thousandths place.